Hello, this is Michael Silva. In this episode, we are going to talk about how to decide whether or not to respond when you see an RFP opportunity for security consulting services. As you learned in episode 45, the RFP process can be long and complicated, and the chance that you will be awarded a contract at the end of the process is far from certain. Responding to an RFP and preparing a formal proposal can require a serious investment of time and energy. Before deciding to respond, you need to make a realistic assessment of your chances of winning the project. Some questions to be asked include: Number 1, how closely do my qualifications match those being sought in the RFP? If your qualifications closely match or exceed those specified in the RFP, you're in good shape. But if not, this can significantly reduce your chances of being selected. Number 2, how many actual projects of a similar type have I actually performed? Most selection committees will want to see that you have completed at least a few projects of the same type as theirs in order to be considered. The more projects of the same type, particularly if they are local to the client and well known, the better. If you have never done a project of this type, your proposal will likely be scored poorly by the selection committee. Even if you've done a few similar projects, you may be at a disadvantage when competing against another consultant who is a specialist in this field and has done hundreds of projects of this exact type. Number 3, what is the potential value of this contract in relation to the value of contracts that I have performed in the past? Most clients will look at the dollar value of the projects that you have completed in the past to see that they were approximately the same size or greater than the one being proposed. If the biggest project that you completed in the past was $25,000 and this one is $35,000, you are probably okay. But if your largest project was $25,000 and this one is $250,000, you probably don't have much of a chance. Number 4, is the work located in places that I can serve in a cost-effective manner? If the project is located close to you, this is not a factor. But if you are based in San Diego and going after a project in Boston, this can be an issue, particularly if you are competing with one or more qualified Boston-based consultants. Number 5, is the size of my consulting firm a good match for the project, or would the client likely prefer to work with a larger company? In most cases, large companies like to work with other large companies and may prefer a larger, big-name national consulting firm over a sole practitioner or even a small team of consultants. This is often true when the selection committee of a large corporation or government entity wants to make what they feel is a safe and reliable purchasing decision. This is a type of decision that would be difficult for their bosses to criticize if something went wrong. If you or your team have already worked for other large, well-known organizations, you may be able to overcome this mindset. But in most cases, smaller consulting firms simply have no chance of winning in this situation. Number 6, do I have the resources necessary to perform a project of this type and size? Be realistic about the time that you have to perform the project and your ability to cover expenses while the project is going on. Number 7, how many other consulting firms are likely to be competing for the same project? How do their qualifications and experience compare to my own? Take an objective look at this and be realistic. Number 8, does the client have an existing relationship with another consultant, or does it appear that another consultant is already preferred by the client? If a client is using another consultant for other projects and is happy with their work, they have a huge advantage when pursuing a new project with the same client. The truth is, most new consultants just starting out don't have much of a chance when pursuing larger projects by themselves through the RFP process. Most clients who are seeking consultants in this manner are not willing to give new consultants their first big break. If you want to go through the process as an educational experience, that's fine, but just be realistic about your chances of success. Every once in a while, a new consultant will be awarded a project that they thought they didn't have a chance of winning, but this is exceptionally rare. If you don't think that you have a chance of winning a project on your own, often the best choice is to team up with other consultants who have more project experience and greater resources. I will talk more about teaming with other consultants in a later episode in this series. As your consulting practice grows and you start to develop a track record of completing progressively larger projects, your chances of winning projects through the RFP process will increase.